Is there a story behind the story we got? I remember seeing the teaser trailer for Prometheus and saying to myself, this is my most anticipated movie ever. Alien, it's going to be an Alien movie, an origin of Alien. It's going to be Ridley Scott at his best. The scenery, the music, the sirens of the ship blurring away as the trailer's going by, all the imagery. I was like, this is it. I haven't, besides that and the first Godzilla teaser trailer, I don't think I've been as hyped for a movie ever since. And then the movie came out and it left a lot of people disappointed. And I feel like a lot of people missed what was trying to be done. At the same time, there was a lot of missed potential with this film. Because, in my opinion, Prometheus is a movie that is dumber than it's trying to be. It's a movie with a lot of smart concepts that it doesn't flesh out well because it's surrounded by characters that are not as well fleshed out as it could be. Some that are just completely and utterly stupid. And it has a story that towards the end starts to feel a bit rushed, in my opinion, okay? It's essentially, in my opinion, a wasted opportunity to explore concepts that go beyond just an alien chasing people in a ship. I'm going to make some tweaks to the current Prometheus plot as we've gotten it, and see if we can maybe fix a little bit of it. Now, I'm just a random dude wearing a mask, because schizophrenic person. You don't have to listen to this and take it seriously, but I do think that there are things that we can do to maneuver around the problems with Prometheus and make it a better film. Make it a better story that also reveals the true prophecy Ridley Scott was trying to show, but never really got to. Guys, I believe that Ridley Scott had a plan. Okay, and I've made an entire video on this of what I thought the plan might be. And this video was what was Ridley Scott's plan? Were the Alien prequels actually good? If you want to watch that video before this, that's a good preface to this, right? I believe he had a plan, and then at one point he just had no idea what the fuck he was doing because studio pressure plus fan reactions to Prometheus had him completely remove the trilogy that he had planned with Prometheus and then Alien Paradise and then the follow-up film that would lead directly into the first Alien, okay? We're going to have to try to figure out a way to bridge this together, okay? And I think that there's one plot point, and it all ties back to the damn mural, okay? What was this mural, okay? The mural is the prophecy, guys. It's the prophecy that it's all been leading to, okay? And no, this is not a xenomorph film. Despite what that mural looks like, it's not an alien film. It's not a xenomorph. We're not making this an alien film. This is going to be Prometheus. This is in the same universe, okay? It is in the same universe, but we're gonna make some changes, okay? Let's look at this from an objective lens, right? The characters in this film are not great. The two characters that stand out are Shaw and David, okay? So we're gonna stick to the strengths of this movie, okay? The rest of the characters are kind of crap. David is one of the best characters, in my opinion, ever in sci-fi films. Problem is, David becomes a bit of a psychotic moron in Alien Covenant who tries to kiss himself. I don't know why, okay? This relationship should have been fleshed out way more. Shaw's a great character. Holloway he's not interesting at all. There's not a redeemable factor to him, in my opinion. And they should have made bank on this relationship, okay? Wayland should not have... I don't like the way Wayland was done, right? Wayland kind of comes in out of nowhere. Not out of nowhere. I know they hint at him being in the pod, in that male pod in Prometheus ship, but the way he comes out and they go to the engineer ship after, and it's a reveal of him being the father of Vickers and all this, it just feels so rushed and there's no substance to it. I felt absolutely fuck all when I was watching it. We need to incorporate Wayland in a way that makes more sense, okay? Idris Elba, keep him, all right? He's the captain. If you have Idris Elba in your movie, it's a W. Gone. I want her gone. Replace her with Wayland. You don't need this character. I know people are going to disagree with me on that. This is the most useless character in the film. Not those dumb scientists. Those dumb scientists can be replaced easily. Vickers, if you pull her out of the movie, what does the movie lose? Nothing. Oh, her and David have this relationship that maybe she's a robot like him? Fuck off. No one cares. Oh, she's the daughter of Wayland. It was a sick twist at the end. Yeah, I couldn't have seen that coming a mile away, right? Remove her. Put Wayland as the person in charge. You could have just used him. I get it. He's old. He needs to be in a crowd. No. He's a much more interesting character than this chick. And the pathogen. A lot of people don't like this plot point. They just don't like this. It's a plot device it's a convenient plot device. It's like vibranium in Wakanda. It can be used for we're gonna use the pathogen. It adds something new to the lore, but we're gonna use it in the correct way. Alright? Listen, I don't like it when they make aliens that are like beyond us human. I don't like how human they try to make everything. I don't like how they try to connect the space jockeys to us. No. Engineers, we're gonna have the engineers in this. A little bit, briefly. But we're not gonna do what Ridley Scott did, alright? These are not my space jockeys, okay? I would rather them be DNA relatives to us, right? We have shared genetic components. That's it. They're not our makers, though. We come from the same shit. We come from the same mutation, you know, from the pathogen. They're not our makers. They didn't, drink it and no, okay? And like I said, this ain't an alien movie, all right? We're gonna go with the opening scene. We're gonna start off. I'm gonna break down the whole story for you, okay? This shit does not happen in my opening scene. We're not gonna show the creation of humanity in the opening scene. That's dog shit. I will never ruin the mystery of what happened to make humans be in the first goddamn opening minutes of the movie, all right? We're not doing that. That's not my Prometheus movie. The opening is going to be the TED Talk. You all agree with me how good this damn scene is. It fleshes out Weyland's character, the motivations for the company, perfectly. And it's a well-written scene. Okay? This is the opening scene. I don't want a young damn Weyland. I don't want any other opening scene to my Prometheus film. Okay? Then we go to the Shaw and Holloway doing their thing, finding the cave painting. Okay, this is gonna lead us somewhere to one of these planets, right? Then we get that deleted, I don't know if it's a deleted scene, it's probably bonus footage, but Shaw does like this interview video thing for Weyland. And she tells him about how she's obsessed with finding God. And this relates to Weyland, right? As we're gonna see. And this is why Weyland chooses her. Because of her beliefs. Not because of her expertise, but her beliefs and where those beliefs have guided her. Prometheus. We're going to get right into it. We're going to get right into David's routine. A great scene of him mimicking the movie he saw and doing this haircut shit and all this stuff. All right, then we see him. Okay, look, we're not doing this dream shit, all right? This dream technology is so OP for this time. Like, this is in the same universe as Alien, and I get it. People are going to say, oh, but this ship is different. This ship is an elite ship because we got all the rich people. We got Weyland himself on this, funding it. Whereas the Nostromo, that tech, of course, is going to be worse. I get it. Dream tech? This man can look at people's dreams? What the hell are they doing funding expeditions into space when they can look into the breaches of the human consciousness, man? So easily too. Oh, he's able to see an entire story of like this scene of her and her father talking about God. Like, come on, man. This is crazy. I get it. We need to show her motivations, you know, where it comes from. We can do it in ways that are better than this and a bit more subtle. All right, we get the scene where they all wake up and they start eating food, blah blah blah. And listen, some of these, this movie is gonna focus in on the characters, okay? Specifically, two relationships. We're not gonna show these dumb geography scientists who are just assholes for no reason. No, David and Weyland. This is one relationship, all right? And these two, these are the two focal points of the story. One relationship is them having dialogue. Remember the opening scene to Alien Covenant. It's this, them two talking about the nature of existence, all right? Who started it all? This is the kind of shit I want to see in a Prometheus film, them talking about it. Yeah, some of you might say, oh, it's pseudo-intellectual hobnosh. No, I want to see them talking about God and mortality, all right? I want to see them, and listen, obviously my Weyland in this Prometheus is older, but we need this scene basically replicated in Prometheus, all right? They're talking about God and mortality, and David is starting to feel resentment because Weyland keeps talking about, yeah, you'll never be able to create like humans can. You are a servant at the end of the day. And this makes him resentful. What the fuck is that goddamn... Okay, sorry, there was a car alarm. So I live in a tough neighborhood as a vigilante. All right. And these two, they're talking about why we were made and what's the importance of it, right? One dialogue is about, oh, we need to meet God. Weyland thinks he is a god. These two, it's about meeting their creators and finding out the purpose of human existence. So they're both talking about similar concepts, but it's motivated by different things. Okay? They get to the planet and they find that temple thing. All right? They go inside where the pathogen is, blah, 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 blah. They see the mural. Okay, now there's one key difference between this mural and my mural. Okay, stay with me, guys. My mural is going to do this. It's going to have the same damn deacon in the middle, and it's going to show these. Okay, ignore the colors, and I'm not the greatest graphic designer. Okay, but it's going to show these two things. Okay, there's a reason for this. Trust me, there's a reason for this, guys. Okay, we're not going to talk about it. We're not going to explain it. It's just going to be there. We're going to see this. These are just the only two things I would add at the bottom. And it already makes sense because in the original mural design, there is something at the bottom that hints at these two folds, you know, these two circles, okay? So I'm not really doing anything different from what they've done. I'm just trying to make it a bit more explicit. But we're not going to hint, it's not going to be discussed in the movie at all. So we get the pathogen scene. David grabs a piece of pathogen, okay? Now, in the control room, what they witness is we have this seat doesn't come out yet, but they see these cryo chambers, and within these cryo chambers there are dead engineers. Okay, there are freaking dead engineers. All right, and it's implied that these engineers, through the mural paintings, these engineers kind of knelt in worship to whatever's in the middle here. Okay, so keep that in mind, guys. All right. So there's dead engineers everywhere. There was a pathogen outbreak, all right? Same shit we've seen in the movie Prometheus movie, okay? We're not gonna do this dumb shit where they take the head of an engineer and reanimate it. I found that seem very stupid. But they will take a piece of an engineer body and find out that there is a genetic match. It's not 100% match, but there is some overlap, okay? And what's implied with these cave paintings that David's the one analyzing all of it, by the way. This is important. David's the one who analyzes everything that's on the mural. He's starting to understand the culture. That these engineers that are similar to us in their looks and their anatomical features were servants to their masters. And who are their masters? We don't know. That's a mystery. All right. Who do they serve? Now, everything else happens as planned. All right. David goes to the ship and Wayland tells him, all right, listen, you're going to fucking take with this pathogen. You're going to infect somebody on the ship because I need to know, as someone who's dying, I need to know what this does. Is this the Prometheus fire we've been looking for? So he infects Holloway, blah, blah, blah. Same thing happens, all right? And then they go on their second expedition to the temple, all right? Now, nothing is changing other than the stuff that I mentioned, all right? So he gets infected. They all go, all right? And David does some more exploring. Now this, we're going to zoom in on this, showing that face hugger planning itself, all right? This is important. There's a ritual that's been put on the mural. David understands that there's a ritual that this culture that is very important to this culture. These servants were serving their master so that their master could induce the ritual. All right. David does that thing with the holograms in the ship. All right. And there are two planets highlighted, not Earth. Two planets that we don't know that are galaxies away in the same galaxy, whatever. They're far away from each other, but there are two planets highlighted. Important planets. We're gonna get to what that means. Okay. Now, accidentally activates something like he did in the movie, and we get the reveal of the space jockey. Okay. Now, this space jockey is going to be like he should have been, techno-organic. He and the chair are like one. He can detach from the chair, but him and the chair are like the same entity. All right. Now, this is the scene where Wayland tries to talk to him, right? We have that dialogue with the space jockey, not the engineer. David tries to speak the language he thinks they speak, but guess what? There's no reaction from the space jockey. It's alive and staring at them with coldness, silence. The silence of God is the theme here, okay? And you can even see it in the bubbles here from the comic depiction, okay? The space jockey is indifferent to these people. Meanwhile, Holloway's infection starts to take hold of him, and we have the whole scene where he comes back. Now, instead of Vickers burning him, we have Idris Elba, the captain of the ship, having to burn one of his crew, the people that he was trying to protect. It's going to be a great arc for Idris because this man is going to feel guilt. He's going to have a guilt complex throughout the movie, you know? He just burned one of his own people alive. So his mutation will be like the Fifield mutation, okay? We are going to see it firsthand before he gets burned. So that it's clear to us that people who get infected by the pathogen do take a xenomorph-like shape, all right? Then we have the whole pregnancy thing where David takes her to the cryo deck and then she gets pregnant. Now, David, this is important, okay? David sees a glimpse of what's within her and shit starts to make sense to him. He starts to connect the dots that he saw in the mural paintings and all that. All right. So this whole sequence happens. Great sequence. And this thing starts to grow and grow and grow within the ship. Okay. Meanwhile, these two are trying to figure out a way to get through to the space jockey. So David's back trying to help Wayland. Okay. And Wayland's getting nothing from the space jockey. Wayland is as disappointed as a man who's been looking for the meaning of existence. He's as disappointed as that man gets, especially the man who wants immortality. Okay. The engineer starts to, in his indifferent manner, starts to press the button and take flight. All right. So this is the reveal where the temple is actually just a fucking ship, and the space jockey doesn't give a fuck about any of these two. He's trying to leave. Okay, especially now that all of his engineers are gone. All right. Meanwhile, this motherfucker is attacking everybody. The ship is infected with this creature. All right, this creature's attacking everyone on the ship. People are dying. All the scientists are getting taken off the list one by one. So Idris makes a decision. That self-sacrifice scene where Idris rams the ship against the engine ship is just going to happen here. He's going to self-destruct the ship with the creature inside it to try to kill it. All right, and he does. His guilt from killing one of his crewmates with fire causes him to self-sacrifice in fire. It's an arc. You see where I'm going with this? All right. Now, Shaw escapes and goes to the engineer ship. All right. Now she suspects that David knows what's going on. All right. She confronts him about it even, and David, in his demeanor, hints at the fact that he wants Wayland gone. He wants this ritual to take place so that he can give Wayland what he deserves. All right. Now the space jockey's gone from the from the control room, whatever that they were in. All right. Now this third act is going to get messy, guys. Okay, it is going to get messy, and I'm really sorry about that because it'll take a better screenwriter than me to put this all together. Okay. This creature did not die in that self-destruct sequence. In fact, it's grown bigger and bigger and bigger. It's growing to the point of absurdity. This is one terrifying monster, by the way. I wouldn't want to be in the same room as this thing. All right. So we get this interesting third act where all of them are hiding from this creature. Okay. At least this is the beginning of the third act, right? It's in a very thrilling sequence. Okay. The space jockey releases himself from the chair and walks out. All right. So this creature's making its way into the ship, into the engineer ship, trying to find them all, okay? The space jockey comes out of the ship and confronts the creature. The creature's like, oh, fuck, what's this? And runs out of the ship, the engineer ship, right? So the creature just made its way from the blown-up ship to the engineer ship, hunting them all down, one at a time. And everyone's dead except for Shaw and David at this point, okay? Then he hears the space jockey make, like, the sound, I guess, or whatever the fuck. The space jockey uses some kind of flute. You know that flute that the engineers are using? Calling the creature to him. The creature comes from the engineer ship out. This is the scene. This is the prophecy, guys. So, this creature was on the mural, okay? And the space jockeys were finding a way to replicate this creature so that they could birth the deacon at the mural, right? They were trying to replicate their way into creating their god. And he does. So he kneels down and allows himself to get sacrificed. I'm sorry, I said only David and Shaw are alive. Wayland is too, by the way, at this point. So Wayland witnesses this, okay? Wayland sees that this being that he thought was a god kneels down and self-sacrifice kills himself essentially for the squid thing. And he doesn't understand why. And there's a key difference here, guys. There's a key difference in the gods here. One wants to live forever, while the other wants to sacrifice himself for a greater purpose. It's a very interesting dichotomy. Okay? Then we see the birth of the deacon, and everything makes sense to David now. David understands the purpose of why they were here, to fulfill the prophecy that was on the mural. Okay? In the mural, we actually see this ritual taking place. Now, we see the ritual. This is meant to be engineers that are getting face-hugged, but in my story, the space jockey is the one that needs to give birth to the grand design. Their culture is about sacrifice, all right? And David tells Wayland, this is their god, their grand design. This is the creature. This is central to everything, all right? So, I don't know how this is going to happen, all right? I'll need help from the screenwriters, all right? But David essentially tries to coax, and Shaw's witnessing all this. David tries to coax Wayland into going near this creature, this being that's just been born. And this creature, the Deacon, because he's been birthed from a space jockey, and we know how big those things are, is starting to accelerate at a massive rate to the point where it's huge, it's gigantic. And in the original script, it was supposed to be an Ultramorph that started chasing everyone, trying to kill them. I am going to make a smarter movie than that. Okay? I don't want this to be another Alien film where, oh, this is the secret final boss that's attacking them all at the ship. No. We got our squid creature hunting everyone down. This ending is a bit more nuanced. Okay? Remember, in the comic books follow-up to Prometheus, the Deacon, after Shaw and David leave, the Deacon then grows into a fucking mountain. Okay? And then, Eldon has to take his place and then take the place of this nature-like figure that's spreading through the ether, all right? Spreading its essence. We're going to see this happen, but in the movie itself, okay? So, essentially what happens is, something's going to happen, all right? Wayland is going to confront this creature and then die, and then the combination of its blood and then all the surrounding areas will cause the Deacon to expand, all right? I don't know how this is going to happen, guys. I hadn't even put it together in head, but this is going to come true. Because guess what? That mural showcases this exactly. This is the grand design. A creature that can further create life. All right? That's what the Deacon is. In the comics, the Deacon was able to grow an entire aspect of nature out of himself by merging and turning himself into a fucking mountain where organic life grows. This is what the Deacon's purpose was. The Deacon is not a monster of death like I thought it was in my last video. It's the opposite. It's the opposite of a xenomorph. The xenomorphs are like a bastardized version of this idealized god. Okay? And we're going to get to that. So it starts to grow into itself. It starts to grow from the surroundings outside. And then all those things start to grow. Vines and shit start to grow. Black vines. And it's about to take over the damn ship, the damn engineer ship that Shaw and David need to leave. So we see Shaw and David witness this nature, this divine revelation where this creature is just engulfing itself. It's not trying to hunt anyone down necessarily. It kills Wayland because Wayland comes near him and tries to fucking speak to it like an idiot because David told him to. But it starts to engulf itself, and Wayland's body gets taken up by it, by all the spread. So Wayland in his own way got what he wanted. David promised him life, a new life. Well, he got it in a symbolic way. Then they make the final escape, okay? And then the final escape, the sequel to this would be Shaw trying to figure out the meaning of it all by going to the space jockey's home planet. Because David, remember, he saw 2 planets that were highlighted on the hologram. So they're going to go and check them out. And they go to Paradise. Now, Paradise is not going to look like what it did in the Covenant movie. It's going to, I don't even know if that was the engineer's home planet. I think it was a different sect of engineers that planet was. But we're going to make it more H.R. Giger in design, right? This is the sequel to Prometheus, right? And this is going to explain that what these 2 things are. Remember, my design on the mural, okay? This is the pathogen, okay? The pathogen, all these things lead to this, right? The pathogen is a bringer of life, okay? It's organic evolution on rapid fire, on rocket fuel, okay? And it leads to the creation of this. But the antithesis of this is this part, okay? So we have... stick with me here, okay? We have the pathogen, which is meant to create life. It can destroy life, don't get me wrong, but ideally the space jockeys use it to harvest new life, okay? And then the opposite is another thing that comes from the pathogen, but can also create the pathogen from within it, as we saw in Romulus, is the xenomorphs, which are almost as ancient in nature as the pathogen, okay? The xenomorphs are the bioweapon, the last resort that the space jockeys use in their mission to create life. The space jockeys are the creators of life, and it's implied that they indirectly helped create humans, but I don't really want to establish that connection. I want the space jockeys to be unrelated to humans. The engineers are related to humans genetically, and you can have some theories there about, oh, did they all come from the pathogen, and who made the pathogen? The space jockeys didn't make the pathogen. They just used it. They found it and they've used it. And results from that is the pathogen is used for life, and the xenomorphs are used for death. It's the last resort. They are the other planet. So we got 2 planets, paradise and the xenomorph homeworld, where it's very rarely used or visited by the space jockeys, but they do go sometimes to get some cargo when they need to use it as a weapon. So Paradise would explain a little bit of this. And then the third movie would be David trying to manipulate the use of xenomorph eggs and use them as a weapon himself, or hijack them from the space jockey. And it would lead into the first Alien movie, with that space jockey having a hive of eggs, and then one of them goes haywire, and something happens that sabotages the ship. He gets face hugged, and then Ellen Ripley and her team come. That would fulfill Ridley Scott's plan to have David be the cause of that. But David in this universe is not creating the xenomorphs, or he didn't iterate on them. All right, they existed, just like the Deacon has existed, as antithesis to each other. David is not a creator of xenomorphs. He's going to use them to destroy the creators because he resents the idea of a creator beyond him because of Wayland. So in Covenant, where David was obsessed with being a creator because humans for his whole life told him that he couldn't create because he was an AI, in this, he's obsessed with destroying the creators. Similar to in Covenant, where he launched the entire pathogen on everyone. That motivation still exists, and he will be a villain. I do like the idea of David being a villain. It's just him creating the xenomorphs that we know now. No, we're not letting that fly. He's going to use them for his own purposes. All right, and Shaw will have to stop him. And Shaw's not going to die off screen in the second movie. This is like a 3-movie arc in a way. Okay, guys. So that is my take on what should have happened in Prometheus. I know you guys are I know a lot of you are gonna hate this. Like, what the hell is that? Right? A Deacon randomly just spreads himself into the mountain. Wouldn't that take years for that to happen? Listen, in my mind, the pathogen leaks. The Deacon has an ability to merge with it and expand his will upon organic life, and that accelerates the process. Okay, that's what would happen in my mind if I was writing this. I don't want the Deacon just trying to attack everyone and be the final boss. No, I want the prophecy on the mural to be fulfilled, and for it to be a more nuanced creature than just a killer, an animal. Whereas the xenomorph is the opposite. Xenomorph is like the devil if the Deacon's the god. Okay, that's what it would be essentially. All right. I'm sorry, guys, if you hate it. I like the idea of this ending. I want to bring that comic book follow-up into the ending of Prometheus. I think it would be really cool. Let me know what you guys think. Like and subscribe. You know the drill.